because they're like, ah, you know.
There we go. All right. Mr. Jones, we on?
Yeah.
We're good to go. All right. We have a couple of. Let me make a point here, and then we'll kind of give you brought in our paper and show you where we can meet and find a solution to the problem. So we're going to counter compensation, but not supplements. You know, just to take on both at the same night, we have to meet. The movement to 250 is a good sign, so we'll work through the rest. The Article 16 compensation. So one of the things that we kind of dealt with this in other negotiations too, outside of this scene here, but your side and our side, we're speaking a slightly different language in the proposal. So we have to, the first thing we have to do is start talking a common language, and then we can make real movement, right, together.
Yes.
Do you agree?
Yes.
So the way we attacked it and the way you attacked it were slightly different.
Correct.
And we can find a way to speak the same language. So with your proposal, there are some, we want to lay out with you on paper there are what we see as the problem. And then we want to offer what we see as the solution. And that's going to be something that you'll probably take for the night and meet about and talk about. So this may be the last time tonight, I would think.
Okay.
But so if you have questions or you want a brief call, please feel free. But Jesse's gonna go up and do some talking, and if you have questions, feel free to interrupt.
All right, so when we took the numbers back that you gave us in random, we tried to run different scenarios for different teachers to see how they would play out. So big reveal. That was better than expected. All right.
Jesse did not write that.
Yeah, I wrote it once, everyone cried, Jimmy wrote it.
It wasn't me.
If we look at a teacher who's currently sitting at 45,535, they're going to get 1965 out of the base to get them to this 47,500, right? Then they're going to get a highly effective raise. We're going to assume everybody's highly effective for the purpose of this, just maybe. Going to get 2,888.
Yes.
Everybody.
Yes.
Now, people that exist with between this number here and 47,501 have a little bit of a sliding scale because of the percentage they put in it. So if we look at someone making 46,850, I pulled an example from a friend of mine. They need 650 to get to the new base. Then they need a little bit more to get to a total 2% raise, that's $287. Then they achieve performance highly effective, 923. Their total raise is 1,860, then as we read it off the paper there, okay? And feel free to check my math, I'm a physicist, not a mathematician. You'd be surprised how bad I am at that. Now, if we look at people who are above 47,501, I get 1,242 of the adjustment you guys offered. The highly effective, 2165, and our grandfather people receive an adjustment, and then their grandfather pay. And you can see here how there's a dip for a band of teachers. Now, this is roughly 40% of our teachers. This one's gonna be roughly about 20%. We need grandfather 20%, so we assume the number here is also 20%. So 20% of our teachers running in range for about 10, 15 years of experience are receiving less money than any other category. Is everyone clear with the problems part of this that we propose? We propose is the problem.
Yeah, let's pause here.
Tell me what you said you believe the percentages were?
Right, so if 2% of pay, for example, in this one example,
The percentage of groups of teachers.
40% of teachers want about base pay right now. 41%, I'm sorry. And then we knew that we received the information that between here and there was roughly 20% of teachers.
Okay.
And then we knew that grandfather was 19%, thus
You used
leaving
18.8, that's the same, I'm using the same data. as
spreadsheet,
well.
okay.
So
Yeah.
46, that group that would encompass that person at 46,850, I believe is 18.8%, it's actually on the next page.
Yeah, I'm sorry, we'll show here in a second.
All right, so any questions about what we see as the problem? Wow.
No, I mean, I see
No
your
question.
math. I can see
No
your math,
question.
because I have the
No,
math.
that's a question.
I had your math figured out on, we have a whiteboard. So we did the same thing in the room. So keep going.
Okay, all right.
All right,
So we have a way to,
Did you have a question?
we have a way to fix that problem, and Jesse's gonna talk about that now.
I just want to personally inject something here. This is where I'm at. My direct lead, my science team lead would get, who I go to for advice every day, would get a lesser raise than me. And then our proposal,
And Jesse, that's what you think that's what you all see as the problem.
right, the problem is that the person who I go to for advice and help because they're the experienced teacher in that 10, 15-year category is receiving less than a raise.
That's Jesse's example of
Yes.
what the broader problem creates.
Which
lack
was
of
the problem
quality.
last year.
Yes.
Yeah, okay.
Compression
A bigger
is a problem.
last year.
Compression
yes,
is a problem.
yes.
No, but we don't have, last year we kind of had to compress. We can do some things to mitigate it this year, and this is what our proposal will do. Okay.
And
Yes.
and I'm sorry for that.
I really want to get to that next page.
I know you do, but we also have to look at the root of the problem.
It's not you, we acknowledge it.
It's not you, it's not the board, it's the legislature.
Right.
Right, we've always got to remember who created this issue and every other issue that we've dealt with over the last 20 years.
Oh.
Most, from a salary standpoint,
I disagree.
ever since.
I disagree. The TSIA was imposed by the state. I'll go that far, but to do
Pay
it.
for performance was,
Yeah, Senate bills, all those 7 bills.
Oh, yeah.
and merit award pay before that, and E-comp and STAR.
To
map, all of
blanket
them.
statement, we would have to, have a conversation, but I definitely agree with the TSA and Senate Bill 736. All right.
Fair enough.
Go ahead, Jesse.
I'm trying.
Yeah.
Next. All right, for people residing on the bottom one here, the 535 people, we would see 1965 out of the base to bring the new base. Then we would like a performance highly effective raise of $1,300. And you can see that lands in $3,265.
So
Then-
can I stop? So you're starting at 45,535.
Mhm.
You're going to the 1965, which is going to be the 47.
47.5, yes, that's
Okay,
number
you
two.
don't have that, okay. So, keep going.
So this is 41% of people. Some percentage of those won't get the performance part.
Because they didn't have an
Because they-
evaluation.
Right,
Right.
but many of them will get the performance effective or performance highly effective. That group is 41% of a lot of people. All right, go ahead.
All right, next we're going to look at our problem area. What we've decided to go with there is to offer everyone existing within the problem area that's higher than 46,535, but less than 47,501, offer them 4% of their current pay raise, and then they can qualify for their highly effective raise. We're using highly effective as the example again, and we will get a range of approximately $3,147. Now that will vary from person to person based on what they're currently making, approximately $40 up or down. Okay, so they will just a small range band for that 21% of people who will make a slightly adjusted number. We wouldn't call it decompression, but they will make slightly different amounts of money. Is everyone clear with step 2? Thank
No,
you.
eight,
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
Too bad your kid's not here anymore, so listen, watch your percentage.
That's like good.
He was gonna drop you out anyway.
So is my wife.
Hey, us all got that stick together.
We're good with the 2 categories? Very nice. All right, moving on to our above 47, 500 category, roughly that 19% of extreme veterans, who are $1,800 we'd like to see for their adjustment to salary instead of the $1,242, I think is what was in the previous package. And then of course $1,300 for highly effective to get their pay performance after that, putting them at $3,100. Everybody with step 3?
Understood?
Fantastic. And then our grandfather people, we would like to see them have an adjustment to salary of $2,327, and then they would have their grandfather pay, which is both effective and highly effective for whatever they got, of $973, bringing them to $3,300.
We can look out for this group. I think we can look out for this group. You didn't do it, but we can look out for it. The TSIA did some bad things to them.
So basically what you all did was you adjusted the adjustment.
Right. I mean, we're countering the
Still
performance
got
pay
to-
too.
You still got to the 47.5,
Yeah,
and then you adjusted the adjustment.
right. So we have different adjustments based on which category you're in, and of course, we're gonna count the performance part too.
And I'd like to add in, we adjust the adjustment and also the percentage for the people in
Right,
this.
that's really the main fix there. And so it's not that if they don't get a 4% raise, it's that if they don't get a 2% raise, they would get a 4%. So by increasing that to 4%, that brings that group up to the other ones. Am I saying that right?
Right, so you're just 4%, these groups wash it off.
Yeah, because the law just says we have to do at least 2%.
Correct.
We can do 2.5, 3.5, whatever. So we're saying 4% would level these a little bit more. And it really is fair, quite honestly. It's a moral question to me, anyway, personally, that those grandfather category, finally look at they get the highest adjustment net,
Will there be any more questions? from
So
you?
Yeah.
correct, so there's a question, so. Good job, trying to think of, I don't know what I want to ask, I'm just trying to
Well,
think about how to
maybe I can
ask.
spark it. Once we get to 47.5, we have a different part of the law that applies, right? So thereafter, after you get to 47.5, the annual increase to the minimum base salary should not be less than 75%. So of the largest adjustment for the grandfather. So we're at 80% here. So we do meet, because it shall not be less than 75. So we do meet the part of the law that would apply after meeting
Sure.
47.5.
So that wasn't my question. My question was, so I get that, so I understand where you're coming from the grandfather piece, if
Yeah.
you're professional services contract employees.
Mostly.
But, no, they are. You can't be grandfathered unless you have a professional services
Well, you can
contract.
continue in contract with.
Yes,
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
correct,
that's
but we have 4 or 5, there's not many
Right.
of those. But what about those teachers that have the same amount of experience,
Why you see level numbers.
but because I'm not, you're saying I'm seeing level numbers, but not really. In your third group, because somebody could have come into the district in 2011, 2012, or 12, 13, and unfortunately, Senate Bill 736 came in and said, we cannot give you professional services contract. And they may have come in with 10 years and have still been with this district for 11 years, and they've got 21 years.
Yeah.
And although they're not
Yeah.
considered grandfathered,
There's no category
they've
for them.
they've still been here a very, very, very long time.
Yeah.
So how do you justify the fact that you want to give those people that have been here a long time with this district?
Some of those people are in here. Some of those people are in this group. So you want to identify what, we can make a category called veteran and identify how many years of teaching they've done. We can do that. I can't do that with the data that I have,
Yeah.
but we can do it.
I'm just asking a question about why you did it that way.
Yeah, well, here, we
And
have to
what
go back
was
to
the
here.
rationale?
Because somebody with very little experience could get 2888, while I'll use myself. I mean, I'm gonna get $700 less grades. You know, I'm in this category, an annual contract, but I'm over 47.5. So is that right? This is,
Well, I'd
Better.
also like, if we go back to that original, I'd also like to point out
Go
that, yep, a first-year teacher in the district is gonna make 45,535. They're not gonna get the performance highly effective, so they'll get the 1965 added to their base. But then if you look, that 1965 is higher than that second category. So
right, even that raise without performance pay.
I am a highly effective teacher. I'm in that second category. I'm a highly effective teacher. I'm making $100 less than a brand new teacher.
See,
in
that's,
a raise.
some of that is wording of the law, but it doesn't have to be this way. We can do some things. So we're willing to, so what I'm saying is that we're willing to speak your language if you're willing to kind of look at different base adjustments. I have this in writing.
Yes, yes.
It's not typed, it's handwritten, because then you're gonna have to know on this.
Give me, I'm gonna have to, yes, because I might have questions, so I might have to reach out. Once we actually get in a room and start banging away at it, we might have some questions for you.
We had to translate our intentions into something that a language that we could both speak. So
Okay.
let me give you this, and I have two of them. Who wants the second one?
Well, what I think that what we probably want to do is do caucus night for a little bit.
Yes,
Because we may have
Yes.
very technical questions that would be difficult to answer through email, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
So we probably want to read this in detail and chat about it a little bit before we say we don't have any more questions.
Right. Could I propose that caucus is, somewhat brief? Come up with the questions that you can come up with, and then let's come back together.
we
So,
can, but you were the ones that said you wanted to go past 8 o'clock.
Right.
what do you mean?
At the meeting that Sally,
I'm
she
just
said
I'm just
we
saying,
wanted
if
to
you're,
go past
collect
8.
your questions, but unless there's gonna be a counter, let's not make it,
Yeah, 2 hours.
midnight.
Yeah.
That's all.
I did.
That's all I'm
I just
getting.
wanted to make sure that we're not
Okay.
expecting us to
I'm not
just
trying to
walk
pull a
in and
fast
walk
one
right
here.
out.
No, if you're gonna
Okay.
counter, then I'll wait here all night, but I don't expect you to. I'm asking that it be caucus for questions for me. That's all.
There are some changes on the other page.
No, we need to walk through it. Okay, so it's the second, starts on the second page, and you'll see a change. The first change is in B. And that is the 4% that you saw up there. Okay? So if the raise does not equal 2%, then you would adjust by 4%. So if the difference between the two, maybe we need to word, the difference between their current salary and 47.5 is not 2%, then they would get 4%.
The 2% is the law.
Right.
Yeah, no,
It's
they would.
a reference to the law.
It's a reference to the law.
Yeah.
2% is a reference to
You're
the
right.
law.
Sorry, thank you for correcting. 2% is a reference to the law. Puts them in a category. Under C, it is clearer to say at least that the base salary is at least 47,500, just because over 47,500 indicates 47,501. So we're just trying to be clear. And it don't fall under B. We get the set amount that you see up there, 1,800. And then D really should be number 2, because now we're into performance pay, which is not related to House Bill 641. So D becomes 2. A is what your wording was, active instructional personnel who have, let's see, whose last year evaluation was highly effective or effective will receive the following. And then we made our adjustments that you see up there on the screen, 973, 974, and 1300. Right. And then the next short paragraph, it's a single sentence, becomes B, because it is in reference to that, to those people. It's a reference to instructional, performance pay. So it needs to be included. So 2A and 2B are new creations. Any questions about that? Why would we do that? It just separates the two components.
It's clear.
But it's basically the same request.
Yeah.
The money is basically the same
Yeah, we're
request.
separating performance pay from House Bill 641.
No, I get that. Your counter was the same amount. It was just pretty much, it was the same spend. It was just written in a different, it was just written in the way that I had passed it across, because you're,
No, we were at 3,400 and we're now at 3,100. 3,400 became 3,100.
but you're going, okay,
Oh, and I will tell you that, yes, the category before that is slightly higher, but it has to be.
Right.
Yeah, it has to be.
okay.
In order to fit that, if we're going to do performance pay, it has to be. So
And then you were
yes,
at-
the effective category goes up. And grandfather comes down, because if we're not going to talk about a longevity supplement, then we're still going to fight for the grandfather people.
But you were at 25,550, and now that's it.
No, that's the only group that goes up because it has to. Because we're talking performance pay now, right? You're doing an adjustment with performance. Everything else went down. It's the smallest group of people also.
The grandfather's down $93, correct?
Correct. Well, that was 30.
Well, because you had
Yeah.
3,393,
$93,
and now you're at 3,300,
Correct.
so $93.
Correct.
Okay, fine.
Ready to keep going?
Mhm.
So you see an arrow down to a D. So that would capture the grandfathered base pay change.
Right.
All right. The new number 3 is existing language, but it's just labeled as 3, and the associate teacher is labeled as 4. So nothing substantial. We agree we got to work on the placement schedule. We need to go up on advanced degrees. So we both agree that we need to go up. The question now becomes how much. Again, it can't cost us out. You can, if you want to tell me a cost, we can work with that, but the question becomes how much. So
So did you look at, because you kind of use supplements as looking in the area, we decided we were not in tier 3, but did you look at surrounding counties and what their supplements were?
yeah, it's all over the place.
So Duval was at
I could show you,
1,000,
can't show
1,200,
you.
1,500.
can't show you advanced degrees.
Mhm.
I can show you the other stuff if you want, but we didn't really want to go into the other article tonight.
But you had said here that we really need to, so why are you saying that?
Oh, because they haven't done nothing.
Well, they went up when we went to impasse, so that was 15, 16.
So it went from 2,650 to 2,000 back to 2,650.
Mhm.
That's not an increase. Sorry. We would like to raise them. The question becomes how much. So we were at 22%, came back to 3%. We're willing to work with you and come up with a number in between. So these numbers represent 13%.
13%.
Right? And the master's plus 30, we would like you to consider that for longer. It needs to be added. Like the strike through removed, however you want to do that.
But that's against the law. It doesn't match the law.
Can you provide that documentation or show us that?
So I can show you the statute, and the statute says that the advanced degree must be in the area in which the person is certified. So master's plus 30 doesn't give you a conferred degree. Master's plus 30, that's not a conferred.
If you could point to the exact spot in the law, we believe that you're, yeah.
Okay, I'll actually show you the
Yeah,
language from
show
the
it.
Department of Education where
We would like the
we
law.
have gotten clarification from them on how this is supposed to work.
In both, please, the law and the clarification.
Okay.
Yeah, because the DOE language clarifies the statute.
We believe that you're interpreting it narrowly.
So the
but
statute,
we will
the
look at the statute that you're.
statute is right here. You can look at it right there. It's 10-12-22. So you can read it. So I'm telling you where it is. And then I'll email you
I have
the
that right here.
clarification language. Yes.
So let's look at, it's in the very end, right? Do you know where it is? There you go. The definition is at the beginning. So it says that district school board may not use advanced degrees in setting a salary schedule for instructional personnel or school administrators hired on or after July 1, 2001. That is unambiguous. That cannot, it needs to be paid as a supplement. Okay? Unless, so this is if it's a supplement, unless the advanced degree is held in the individual's area of certification and is only a salary supplement.
Okay.
So that, with your interpretation is narrow. So I would
I'm
like to see.
sorry, what is a degree?
Yes.
A degree. I mean,
Yes.
but that's
Did
not
you
a
read the
narrow
document?
interpretation of degree. I mean, on a college transcript, the degree is a conferred degree, and you get either a master's in biology or a doctorate in biology, but there's not a degree in master's plus 30. So I mean,
What we're saying is
how
that
is the
if-
interpretation?
We're saying that is the equivalent of a specialist degree.
What?
Like a JD is the equivalent of a PhD for this purpose. Master's plus 30 is the equivalent of a specialist degree.
Where does that say that?
Or does it not?
Yeah, but you can't use that. I mean, that's not.
You really feel like you're breaking the law? How many people are we talking about? You really feel you're breaking the law if you give the master's plus 30 people specialist pay?
I'm sorry, the law says advanced degree. I mean, we'll certainly talk about it, but I want you to know where you're.
I'd like to see the
coming from.
clarification too.
Okay,
Yeah. So I don't need the law, 'cause I got it.
yes.
Yeah.
Just from DOE.
Mhm. You got it.
All right. So can you star it or something that it's kind of hard to unstrike. but
I'll circle
read-
it.
Yeah. And of course, that tracks.
Okay.
7,
Mhm.
you agree? I think that's it. All right,
Okay.
what do you want to start with?
So we'll go in and we'll caucus for a little bit. I do have one other thing that I want to kind of counter
Before we do, can I ask one last question on
and.
that?
Yes.
And it's always the big question. How much does that cost? Okay.
That's
Always curious.
Well, the cost is that we kept talking tonight, because to cost that out is a different, because we had to transfer over to the way you were attacking it, which is different from the way we were attacking it. So
Mhm.
in order to keep talking tonight, I mean, we can certainly estimate it to be,
I guess we'll cost it out.
yeah, I figured you would.
Just curious.
Yeah.
You gotta know what you're asking, right?
Yeah, no, the cost is that
right?
Then we come back.
Because, you know, you have a narrow view of this and we have a much wider view of this.
What do you mean?
Your own- Well, you're looking at it just individually. You gotta look at it in the whole.
Well-
If you don't know,
Well, yeah, but that's how
I'm
the
not
teachers
gonna
look
argue
at it.
that.
Yeah, that's who we represent.
well, so how much does this cost for all the teachers?
Mike, the point is this, you care, and I'm not arguing, you care and you all care about that it's $9 million or $7 million or $6 million, right? It means nothing to the teacher wants to know what their raise is.
Right.
Right.
I understand.
So I can't go to them and say, well, $7 million, it doesn't, their concern is from a different perspective than yours.
Right.
And understand.
I'm just asking if you know how much it costs though.
I can do that, but we wouldn't be talking
The answer was
tonight.
no. We
Okay,
do not know the cost.
okay,
The answer is no.
that's a fair.
The answer is no.
Thank you for
But
that.
then we would have not been talking tonight. We would not have, we would have said, okay, thank you, and we'll get back to you in a month.
Mhm.
And
That's what we would have.
And that wasn't the right thing to do. We came back
We
with a
don't even
counter.
have, yeah, we don't even have anything to count.
Okay,
Okay, so before we caucus, I wanted to correct something that you mentioned, and so Phil, let's see, we'll put this up. You made, you stated that Melinda Bogart sent out an email that had an agenda for an April meeting with all kinds of a laundry list of items on it. And
No, I didn't say it was laundry, there's actually nothing on it. There's hardly anything on it.
You said there was an agenda, and how could she put together an agenda for?
I didn't say it was a laundry list. I didn't even use that term or reference it at
Okay,
all.
but you
There's
made,
hardly anything on it.
but
That's how,
that's not what you said. You said, how could she
What
put
did I
out an
exactly say?
agenda that we don't
This
get
is
a
not
chance
worth it,
to
Kathy.
say anything?
Don't
No,
do
it
this.
is, it is.
this is
it
not
is.
worth it.
Because
I did not
wanna show
say
you-
what she's saying.
No, you did.
No, I
You
didn't.
made it, so I want a clarification. She sent out an email to try and make sure you all had a date on your calendar for April.
What is attached to that? It says agenda. Open it up. I never said it was a laundry list of how big. In fact, it's shockingly small.
Justin, I think the issue here is Kathy let you talk earlier, and now I think you need to let her talk.
I mean, you made an accusation.
I know where this is going now.
No, but
I made a fair statement.
you made an accusation that she was trying to put together an agenda without any feedback from the teachers. That she
I
put
made a
out an
statement.
agenda, and, I mean, apparently you all are recording it, so you can go back and look at what you
I
said.
said that it was 6 months in advance. How could you
Yes.
possibly know what we need to talk about 6 months from
Okay.
now?
So she just
Exactly.
wanted a date.
And it's not an attack on Melinda, by the way. She's incredibly organized.
Okay, but it was, then why bring it up?
Because it's, okay, let's back up to the broader problem, is that committees don't work the way you think they do.
Okay, but your point
But
was
you're
that she
trying
sent
to, you're
out
trying to
an
put words
email
in my mouth,
now.
and I'm not gonna take it.
No,
I'm
I want
not
you to
gonna
go
take
back and listen to what you said, because why bring this up? What I wanted to say was, she said, if you have additional agenda items, please reach out ahead of time.
Okay.
Ahead of time, by April, and let us know what can go on.
Got it.
But really, you should go back and listen, because it sounded, that's what made me go and look and say, what the heck
You
did
just
she
used
send
the phrase
out?
laundry list, which never came out of my mouth, nor anything similar to it, no synonyms of that.
Okay.
We're good. This is a pointless argument, because committees don't work the way you think they do. And now that I've experienced this, I have a little bit more skin in the game. I've actually seen it.
Okay.
There's nothing against Melinda. I mean, if she feels attacked, tell her it's nothing to do with her. But this is how the district sees committees, and that's not how they work.
Well, this was just to put a date on the calendar and see if anybody had anything that they wanted to add. That was it. It was communication. That was all.
Got it.
All right, we'll caucus.
Thanks.
So we need
Yeah. 1 second, sorry.